We're here at the launch of the new Nikon Z50. Now, this is a brand new mirrorless camera from Nikon as part of their DX range, so it's essentially a crop sensor camera. And it's really, really cool. It's a nice little compact, lightweight camera. Nikon have really been getting across to us that that's kind of key messaging for it. It's, it's lightweight. So I must say it's very lightweight, compact, easily fit in a bag. Even if it wasn't a camera bag, you'd easily take it around with you. A perfect travel companion, everyday photography. We've got it here with a 16 to 50mm lens. That's a new lens. Nikon are partnering with this camera, which makes for a great everyday setup. It'd be perfect for taking around the city. Now, something else Nikon have been kind of driving with this one is that it's great for stills and for video. So it's got good specs for both. So outstanding optical quality, even in such a small package like this. And then for video, you've got some really great filmmaking kind of capabilities in there as well. So you may already be familiar with Nikon's full frame mirrorless cameras. You've got the Z7 and the Z6, both really nice cameras. And with the new Z50, Nikon are expanding into the crop sensor mirrorless market as well. Now, going with that DX format allows the Z50 to be compact and lightweight while still feeling great in the hand. They've definitely worked on the design of this to make it feel good to hold. You're not compromising on how comfortable it is and how nice it is to shoot with by having it so small. And a big part of that is the deep grip. It's very, very comfortable, and the controls are very ergonomic in terms of placement and things like that. Now, certainly when we talk about going mirrorless, a lot of that is partly about downsizing from kind of DSLRs and stuff like that. And in that sense, the Z50 really does take that a step further. It's just 395 grams, so it's super light. And it really does feel incredibly light to hold. With the new ZDX format lenses, you could easily pop the whole system in your bag and just head out without a second thought. It's really the kind of system that's great for traveling, great for everyday use, because it's not something you really have to think about taking. It's small and light enough to just take it with you no matter what. Now let's dive into the specs just a little bit here, just to rattle some of these off. So we've got a 20.88 megapixel sensor in here. And Nikon have put a lot of work into making this work really well for low light performance. Now, we unfortunately couldn't take any images ourselves to actually put in this video because it was a pre-production model, but we have got some sample images here that Nikon have provided us from photographer Alex. Now, he took it around Italy, and we've got some of these images here which look really, really lovely. He also took some video there which looks great. And that's another thing about this camera. Like I said earlier, it's definitely a hybrid system. It's definitely been designed with stills and video in mind. So it's great for videographers and photographers, and especially people like myself, like a hybrid shooter. This makes a great option for anyone already owning something like a Z6, because this would be a perfect B camera. But for any kind of filmmakers or videographers who want to get into proper video work, this has the capability to do that. You've got 4K at up to 30 frames a second, full HD 1080p at up to 120 frames a second. You've got some really creative options for how you want to shoot. Now, while we were playing around with the menus on the camera, we found some really nice creative options for how you want to shoot, how you can affect the image that you're taking. And there's some really great ones in here, really interesting stuff, which allows you, again, to just get a little bit creative with what you're going for. Now, just going back to the low light performance, Nikon have really stressed to us how much effort they've put into making this a great low light system. So you've got an ISO range there of 151,200, and then high ISO modes with an equivalent of ISO 204,800. Now, that's something that probably no one will ever use. I certainly don't usually go much above 6,400 unless I really have to for some reason. But the main takeaway here was just how well the Z50 was able to handle those higher ISO values. And that's something that crop sensor cameras aren't always great at. But certainly here, and again, unfortunately, we couldn't take any sample footage for you, but hopefully we'll get hands on at some point. But here we were able to kind of have a play in the dark kind of cinema room that Nikon had set up for us. And I've got to say, it did seem to be handling it incredibly well. In terms of autofocus, the Z50 inherits the phase detect autofocus from the Z6, and you've got 209 AF points and approximately 90% frame coverage. Now, it seemed to be very snappy, very reliable, and it was working even in darker conditions. And another thing that was great to see was the eye detection AF working really well. You've got face and eye detection in there. It's all selectable in the menus, and it seemed to be very reliable. It was snapping onto eyes days really quickly. Couldn't really fault it, and I really can't wait to get my hands on it in more depth to see what that's all about. Nikon really have managed to create a system that's small, it's compact, it's lightweight, but it still feels really good. You know, you're not compromising on the feel of it. And it would make a great camera for anyone looking to get seriously into photography or videography. Maybe they're upgrading from a smartphone or a lower end camera, but it would also be a great second camera for anyone who already owns something like a Z6 or a Z7, whether you're using it as a B camera for video or whether you want to have it as your kind of travel camera, your everyday camera, the one that you take out with you when you're not sure if you are going to be shooting or not, when you're not sure what you're going to be going for and you don't want to take your whole kit. This is a perfect kind of everyday system. Now hopefully we're going to get our hands on this again soon so we can bring you proper sample photos, really give it a good test, sample video, all kinds of cool stuff. But for the time being, you can check out the full spec, information and price of the new Nikon Z50 on our website at parkcameras.com. I'll pop a link down in the description for you to check. If you have any questions about the camera, pop them down in the comments as well, and we'll do our best to get back to you ASAP. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on new content. I'll see you in the next video. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.